At the MCG yesterday, a crowd of 87,000, a record home and away crowd for Geelong, saw a terrific match unfold.
It was terrific. Geelong were in front most of the day and with a better side, just kept finding a way, but it was this late in the game when you thought it was all over. Geelong looked like they could win by 50 points. It got out to 33 points, and Carlton, as they do, they have a way of just surging in, always in close games. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's probably a bad thing for Carlton that they can't put sides away or can't blow teams away like they want to. But I just wonder how many premierships potential sides we've got left in this competition. I know it's very early.
How many do you think?
I'd say 3 to 4.
You've got the Cats in there now, though, Lotto.
Who have you got in there, Lotto?
I think Geelong and the Giants are clearly the best two.
Surely Collingwood's in there.
I think if they lose to Carlton this weekend, you don't want to be sitting outside of the 8 and in 10th or 11th with a percentage currently of 97. It's not good signs for Collingwood.
We're not even anywhere near the halfway stage of the season.
16 games left.
Yeah, I know there is, but if you're chasing your tail, often you find that if you chase and chase and chase just to try and catch up, you've often done your work before you even get to the final, so they'd want to improve.
As close as the Blues were, they'd be worried about how many coast-to-coast goals and how much percentage the Cats went in and then scored. It was almost every time they were going in, it looked like they were going to score. Jeremy Cameron, as we know, was great. Henry kicked 3, but the Blues, as good as they are through the midfield and forward of the ball, and they got close, but the amount of entries inside 50 that turned into scores would be really worrying Michael Voss. And you talk about premiership outfits, that's one thing. If Carlton are going to be a premiership outfit, they need to fix up, and they need to fix up.
Yeah, it's a really good point, Brownie. 45 entries for 28 scores, and Chris Scott tried to explain this after the game. He explained it really well. He said because the Blues had so much stoppage dominance, they squeeze up and they put all their numbers in the front half. But once Geelong were able to get through, and you're seeing it here, you go into an open forward line. So if you can get through the numbers that the Blues had there, you're going to go to an open forward line, which they did. But yeah, that would be the concern for Michael Voss, which he addressed post-game.
I don't want us to settle that it was a good effort or it was close. It was unacceptable, and we've got to be better.
That was Michael Voss, and I love that, how strong he is after the game, and not for the first time he hasn't been satisfied with a good effort, because it was a good effort, and we sit back and go high scoring, we love that game, but he's not satisfied with how easily they were able to score.
No, they do have the injuries, and he's not using that as an excuse. Now, speaking of injuries, Paddy Dangerfield has now pinged a hamstring for the second time in this season. It happened quite dramatically in the third quarter. He was having a blinder, as a lot of his teammates were, but that left hamstring has gone, and given Lordo the history he's now had in recent times with those problems, it was going to be now a 4 to 5 to maybe even 6. They managed him so beautifully in their premiership year of 2022. They're going to have to do it again this year.
Yeah, you're spot on. So the way it works normally, you do your first hamstring, it's three weeks normally. That you do a second, the same hamstring again, that pushes out to 5 to 6 weeks. So we'll see him in the back half of the year now.
Which leads us into, can you believe it, the volcano.
Yeah, well, we praise Geelong, and rightly so, for everything that they do so well. But I want to take you back to a quote from Patrick Dangerfield in February on his podcast when he spoke about how much they'd changed up their training in pre-season.
We've changed from 3 main sessions a week to 2 main sessions. And the reason for that is we've actually really increased our high speed. So we've changed. So, personally, I've gone from 450 odd metres for a week in terms of high speed. Now, high speed is above 24 k's an hour, and the reason behind it is to try and bulletproof hamstrings, so by the time you hit games, right, it should feel like games are almost a deload.
Bulletproof hamstring. So that is such a big increase in load and high-speed running. And I wonder for Dangerfield at his age whether Geelong reflect now and go, did we get that program wrong at 34? Does they need to be less explosive? And he was great yesterday, but it's so explosive. So when you look back and have a look at the training that they changed up at his age, perhaps they just got that one wrong with his management throughout the pre-season.